Hi, I'm Jemima Crosby with Coldwell Banker.
And I'm Dago Velasquez with Envoy Mortgage.
And this month of April, we decided we're going to do something even more vulnerable and just have a conversation between Dago and I. So wish us luck.
I'm nervous.
We'll figure it out, and hopefully you guys get to know a little bit more about who Dago is and who Jemima is. So this month of April, we decided that we were going to do something a little bit different and not have a guest. We will have more guests these coming months, but I felt like it was important for our audience to understand who we were, meaning who Dago is and who Jemima is, and hope that they don't criticize us and judge us after this a little bit of a podcast, right? But let's start with...
Well, let's start with you.
Oh gosh, he's going to start with me.
Yes, let's start with you.
What do you mean with
Let's
me?
start with who is Jemima Crosby?
Okay, well, I was going to go into, let's talk about how long we've known each other.
Okay. I think we know each other for what, 10 years?
It's 10 years, I think, yeah. We met in September per our conversations in the past. That's usually the Parade of Homes, and that's when we were introduced.
Yep.
And, yeah.
By Mr. Dillon.
By Mr. Dillon, and then Laura added extra. But beyond that, it was organic, I would say, right? Dago, you pursued. I always say this, in business, it's definitely still people pursuing, right? I mean, you had to figure out, how are you going to get my attention at that time?
Yes.
Do you remember?
I do remember. Yeah.
What'd you do? What was different? I will tell you, I can remember what I thought was different compared to others in lending, and lending changes. So, but at that time, what did you do that you remember?
I mean, I think I was just a little bit more persistent. I used to work with a lot of different referral partners and just learning from that, working with them and going after, people like you that were doing so good in business and not being afraid of rejection, right? So I think that night that, what was it, the work ceremony for the Builder Show, whatever it's called.
Right.
Dylan introduced us, and I think the next morning I just sent you a text message saying, hey, whatever you need this weekend, let me know. I'm available. And I think that was my niche. Back in the day, I used to work in the weekends when lenders didn't work on the weekends. And I think it worked, right? So
it did work. I remember we said this in the last one. I was turning off of 68. Michael and I were in the car, and I remember you sent me a text. When you sent me that text, I actually kind of giggled at it. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I was like, oh, look at him trying, I know that sounds really cocky, that I'm just a very loyal person. So you will catch on with me as you get to know me. Loyalty is probably my number one. And that's probably what sets Dago and I apart compared to other business relationships, as you've seen, is I was just thinking, oh, he's just trying. But I did find it impressive because it was a Saturday morning. I think it was like maybe 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 or something like that. We just got done working out, and I was just impressed.
Yeah.
And then from there, you kept going.
Yeah, I just sent you a simple text, and to this
you
day,
were annoying.
I was annoying. I was persistent.
You were persistent.
And I just wanted to start a conversation and get to know you as a person. And now we're here 10 years later, right?
10 years later.
Super good friends outside of work. Chemistry with our spouses and our families, right? The godson of your Christian. Happy birthday to Christian today.
I know, it's 6. Christian's birthday, yeah. April 20th. So, and we'll go into that. Don't hint, and we can go there. Right. So, let's go with what you were gonna hit. So I'm gonna start.
No, I'm gonna start.
Okay, go.
Yeah, I just want people to know, because I think a lot of people are intimidated by you, in the real estate community, and I know you, right? And I know you as a friend, as a business partner. And I want people to know who Jemima Crosby is, and that I think you have a great heart, and I think people can come talk to you at any point, and I just want you to
say who I am.
Yeah, say who you are.
So I think most people understand based off of social media who I am, but I will tell you openly, I am a mom. I've said always first. I'm a wife also, and I say they tend to compete against each other because ultimately I believe that our children eventually leave the nest. I've been pretty vocal about that in my own way, and so I have to really I admire my husband, and so I'm a wife and a mom, and I love real estate. it's kind of addicting. So along with that, I'm also a sister and a daughter, and I have 3 kids, brats. I have a 19-year-old going on 20 this year. Christian just turned 6, who's a baby, and Madison, who is turning 15 this year. So that's kind of a good small scenario of who I am. I mean, there's tons of my story. I don't know how intense you want me to go, but
So if I was somebody in your office and I wanted to get advice from, top agent like you are, and how do I approach you? Like, do I just go talk to you?
yes, I think that's the biggest, and that's the hardest thing we realize is it doesn't matter who you are. I mean, and in this industry, we meet all kinds of people, right? Like we are at Bookwalter Winery, right? One of the most beautiful buildings out here. Again, thank you, John and Gretchen. But Dago, you're friends with them, right? And I felt like you made it look so easy. You just became friends, and
Yep.
and it wasn't that bad. So you also kept doing you, right?
Yeah.
So I think you answer that, like just say hi. I promise I'm gonna do my best to have time, and that's hard, right? I think we are selfish with our time, and it's not selfish in a negative way. I say selfish because we have to balance the business side and the personal side, and that's not always easy. So I feel bad with anyone who feels that way, but I promise you I'm not that way. Come talk to me, even if my door's closed.
That's what I tell people. That's what I tell people about you. I'm like, hey, just go talk to her. Knock on the door, just open the door. She's not gonna say I'm busy, or if she does, she's like, you go talk to him, right? So I just want people to know that.
Thank you. Yeah. That's a good point. I guess I don't realize that sometimes, but yes. Okay.
Cool.
So my turn. Who's Dago?
I'm a winner.
Are you? Oh God. Okay.
Well, let me go back. Right. I am a winner. All I do is win.
Okay.
But no, I'm like you said, I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm a son. So I'm easy to talk to. I don't know. I like to challenge people. Yeah, I can be guarded at moments, but I'm pretty easy to talk to. So I'm just me.
You are just you. So I think probably the most impressive part about you that I got to know you as a friend was that you will not lose. And when I tell you guys this, let's set aside the business side. Let's talk about the personal side. His golf side of him that no one understands. And if you ever have the opportunity to golf with Dago, he acts like he's Tiger Woods 24/7. He will you're going to wear red when you can. You will act like you're just on game mode, and you love to, bet and have fun in a good way. And good luck if you ever play with Dago. But Dago is competitive, and he won't lose. He will get in your brain to make you mess up. I'm here, and I do have handicaps. We have handicaps, and he's trying to give me an edge. But he knows the minute I'm winning, he knows what to do, what to say, and how to get into my head to lose. He does this to anyone around us, my husband, all the family, anyone who I am
pretty competitive, but I get my butt kicked all the time too. But
supposedly,
I just
you won't admit it.
Just having that mindset. I think having that mindset just in golf, business, family, just being positive at all times. I think it's key. So
that's what gets you through the day.
It gets me through the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So even though I know I'm gonna get my butt kicked at golf. Everybody has their bad days, and
right. And when he's shanking them,
oh
my goodness.
But you still have to fake it till you make it. So if I start talking, shit to you guys,
right.
And,
excuse the language.
Mr. Ernesto Cuevas, man, I love playing with him. But that's just that's finding an edge to
get into somebody's brain.
Yeah, and then stay in the competition, right? So even though you're losing, but
and you take it the same way in real estate. I feel like there's not a deal. Let's knock on wood, Dago.
Yeah.
Which we've done a lot of deals together. That I think
we've done like one or two.
That's it. Yes. But being said that, I don't think I have ever been most impressed because when he says he's going to pull it off, he pulls it off. And that's the best part of having a team that we figured out. Hey, I'm putting you on the platform.
Yeah.
I know you're like, oh,
You're
God.
calling me. I'm like, don't worry, let's put it together. We'll figure it out.
You always do. And that's a fight. He's not even Catholic. It makes me laugh. He does all things.
It's like throwing darts.
It's not. You figure it out.
No.
You're creative. You fight.
Yeah.
You fight for all of us, all your clients. That's a part about you that I'm impressed with. And it starts with like the very beginning, the text message and how he approached it, and it kept going. So.
Well, I think you're the same way though when you're with your clients, right? You care about your clients. You love what you do. So I think when you love what you do, you go the extra step to make it happen.
Right.
Even though when people are telling your clients, oh, this won't work, and we'll find creative ways to make it work, whether if it's 3 months on the road or 6 months on the road.
Right.
But I feel like we have a good track record. So
yes,
yeah.
we do. Ooh, again, knock on wood, all the things. It's gone great. 10 years. I don't even know numbers, to be honest. I'm okay with it because I just love seeing repeat clients come through at this point, right?
Yeah.
We both get.
Sure.
So I felt like it was important to understand not only who we are as what we can like define quickly, but also like where did we start? So go, Dago. Talk to me about mom and dad. What's their names?
Mom and dad, I'm a junior, so my dad's name is Dago Velasquez.
Oh my goodness. And nobody can say it right.
Yeah.
It's Dagoberto, just in case somebody doesn't understand. It's
Yeah.
hard to say, so we go by Dago.
and my mama is Juana Velasquez, and it's 5 total in our family. So my older sister, Sarita, myself, I have a twin brother, and then it's Omar and JD.
JD, yeah, the baby. And how old is he?
He's 16, so we're 20 years apart.
20 years apart, which, again.
My mom and dad were busy.
Oh, God.
Got busy.
Again. Your poor mom. So, and then you have a bunch of nephews, right?
Yeah.
And nieces?
Yeah, we got a lot. So I think it's like, I don't know what,
You're losing count.
12 total? 12?
I don't know. I'm asking.
12. It's a big family.
You guys are Mexican,
Yeah,
right?
it's
In
a big
good way,
family. Yeah,
right?
so yeah, big family. Yeah, I was having breakfast with my nephew the other day, and his significant other told us that she gets a little bit intimidated about how big our family is, and it was kind of shocking to me because, I'm used to big families, and when they were telling me that, I'm like, oh, I was kind of like surprised. So I guess we're pretty big. So when we all get together, I guess like what, 20 plus?
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
that's
so,
big.
Yeah.
It is big for me. Now, if we talk to some of our clients, who we don't need to drop any names, they may be even bigger because we've seen them all. But it's, complete opposite of me.
Yeah.
Because I have just one sister and my mom and dad and just my kids. Yes, I have an aunt that's also in Tri-Cities that I'm so grateful about, but my family's tiny compared to yours. And I admire how tight your family is, which you guys are probably like ultimate, like their get-togethers. If you guys have ever gotten to a Mexican get-together and stayed up to like midnight around, the fire pit, all of a sudden we're going to the grocery store to get hot dogs because we're already eating for round 2, right? I mean, it was different. And I admire that. It's fun. The kids are just running around. Half of them are half asleep, the other ones, but they didn't care. They're enjoying time. So that's who you are, right?
I guess, having both worlds, because, my wife, Kristen, she's not a big family like yours, probably smaller than yours. So having that is also nice, but also I think having both, it's...
Both worlds.
Yeah, both worlds is great. Because I don't know if I can deal with a lot. Big family.
I know.
Maybe because I grew up in a big family.
Right.
So when I go to a small family, I get, become an introvert. Although a lot of people don't believe that,
It's true. He's more introverted, I believe, than even me. And what's funny is we kind of joke around because I feel like sometimes you and I are very similar. He's just a male version, but I am more extroverted than you. You'd rather be at home and...
It's probably because we're busy, all the phone's ringing.
It
Which
is.
is a good thing. It's a good thing. But
Right.
we're talking to so many people on a daily basis, like, man, I'm just exhausted, right?
It's true. This is a true statement.
But I wouldn't take anything back, so...
Of course, you can't.
Yeah.
Your mom and dad are done. So, how many...
They could have another oops.
Oh, God, your poor mom, no. So, you guys talk about Kristen, and you have one, right?
Yeah, so we're one and done. Nah, I'm playing. We have one. He's 4.5 years old. Matthias. He's awesome. You know, he's his own character, and we'll see how he ends up being. You know, it's tough. You know, teaching kids because you know, like you're a Christian, right? And obviously you have Maddie and Aaron, but you want them to be this way, but you know they're not what you want them to be, and or not. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that's fine.
you know,
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's fair.
Matthias going through the shy stage right now. I'm like, dude, really? I'm like, come on. You know, but a good friend of mine that I talked to on Saturday said, you know, don't push him too much, you know. So, all right, so I'm gonna take that advice.
Because it'll be okay.
She might be in the room here.
So, either way, and then me, I have the 3 kids, right? So we have 2 different lives.
And that's like you're like, you know, Aaron's like what, 19,
going on 20.
20,
and he puts me on a different. It's weird.
Yeah.
Having an adult that's at home and having a daughter that's
just tell him to wrap it up, you know.
Oh my goodness, and
You know,
you say this. But either way, yes, that is the truth. We are definitely, you know what, Aaron's a great kid.
Yeah,
I'm
he
blessed.
is, yes.
I'm blessed that I have a kid that I think has learned from all of us to be better and figure it out. And, you know, they're just figuring it out. COVID didn't help a lot of things. So, okay.
So what kind of advice you would give to Aaron, the 19-year-old?
Oh, man. I mean, at 19, I already had him. So that's a hard one for me.
Well, right now you have to give him advice, right?
Sure.
And it seems like you're a pretty patient woman.
I am a lot more patient lately. I think COVID taught me that.
Yeah.
You know what? Find what you love to do. I think the stress on trying to figure it out, even from day one for me, was difficult. So once you find what you love,
Yeah.
I can tell you it just becomes more natural. And therefore the stress level just becomes more, okay, what else can I do? And how else can I do it? And how can I get better? Of course, everyone's got their niche on what that looks like, but that's what I tell them every day.
I'm smirking because I remember when Aaron was going to graduate, you're like, I'm going to kick him out of the house. I'm going to kick him out.
I did say that.
Did you kick him out of the house?
I did not.
Not yet. Oh, okay.
Nope, I did not kick him out of the house. I couldn't.
No,
He's your baby.
I don't mean that in a bad way.
I know,
Okay.
because I was ready to just be. But again, we're talking about pre-COVID, so life was different. We were excited for that, and life made you think during those 2 years.
Yeah.
And I think it was probably the best thing for me and Aaron is to understand that I want him to love what he does, because I do.
Yeah.
And I feel that's why I feel successful, and it has nothing to do with anything else but just the balance and feeling healthy in my situation. So that's why I say that. Okay, so also let's talk about we're both first generations. If
Okay,
I remember
yep.
correctly, that's how we are technically termed.
I think so.
Yep. First generations. So, Dago, talk about your first generation experience as a kid, growing up, being who you are now. What did that look like? Like, obviously, your story and my story are 2 different stories. So, I know you're going to pick me apart.
I'm thinking back.
So.
I think my parents, taught us work ethic at a young age. I think my brother and I.
So your parents came here from Mexico?
Yeah, I
correct?
came from Mexico. Yep.
Like the old school way?
Yeah, old school way, in a bus.
Maybe walked. It's fine. However they got here.
No,
they got
here, and my dad's he's been was farming for a while. He's retired now, so. And my mom, obviously helped out too. And I remember my brother and I, Miguel, changing water at 5 years old. Like in the summertime, there was no summer play for us. It was like put your water boots on, and we would go up in the farm and change water.
What did that look like? I don't even know what you mean when you say change
Like
water.
your hand lines. You grab a hand line. Yeah, obviously we're tiny, and he would grab one corner and I'd go to the other end, and we just changed like 10. I don't know. I mean, it took us like 5 hours probably, right? So I remember we used to get paid $5 an hour back then.
At least you got paid at $5 at 5 years old.
Yeah.
No.
So we would do the work like as an adult would.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. So that's what they would pay us at. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So yeah. So every summer, graduate from Coldwell High.
Which she brags about, by the way.
Well, why wouldn't you brag when you're 3-time state champion?
Oh my goodness. Here we go. And here's the cockiness coming out. He's a winner. He's a winner, guys.
But yeah, no, just,
what were you three-time state champion?
So soccer 1, wrestling 2, and when I took state as wrestling, we also took it as a team. So 3-time.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, I could have been 4-time, but I was,
One of the first things as we got to know each other and became friends, we would hang out quite often as couples. And when we would, if all of a sudden he was like feeling pretty good after a couple of glasses of wine, guess what would come out? All the rings, baby. We would see all of them.
I should have brought my ring.
He was very proud. You're very proud about that.
Yeah. I think for me, playing sports because I was pretty shy growing up. Maybe that's where my dad gets it too, but I was pretty shy growing up. I think I don't know why, probably because we didn't have anything, right? And you went to school and you had all these kids that had everything, right? So, and just growing up and playing sports and wrestling, for me, if I wasn't for wrestling and, my coach Carlos and Sammy Rocha, man, those guys, pretty invented a lot into me. So I think that's who I am today.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Everyone has.
When you wrestle, you're individual, right? So you're one-on-one. Like nobody can tell you what to do. I mean, they can coach you like, hey, you're doing this wrong, but the nerves, being scared, and I can tell you this, even when I was state champion, I was still scared and nervous of losing, right? But you still have to go out there and compete. So, yeah. So maybe that's why till this day I have that drive and that mental push to like somebody can't tell me, if somebody tells me that you can't do it, then I can block it and I figure it out. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
I wish I was that cool. Clearly, I was not.
Because you went to private school, huh?
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Mrs. Goody.
Okay. So the private school thing, yes. But remember, okay, so my family, my parents are from Latin America, or South America, I should say, so Peru and Bolivia. Being said that, it wasn't the way others came here. So my family started with the education was number one. That's all they thought of. And in South America, it was very common to have private school. That was the only way of going to school. So coming here and raising children, we didn't have anything. As much as it sounds, we didn't. They prioritized my sister and I to be in private education because of the public school district and them not being, just as informed or not wanting to be a part of that culture, which I respected. Because of it, to be honest, it instilled me to feel like even now, Aaron went through 8th grade private school, and but I did, and Christian is in it now. So I know it sounds like I'm goody and all these things. It was a privilege that my parents gave us that I can't take back.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for it, because that taught me to be smart in tons of ways. Like, it was all about, academics, and I was pretty proud of that. I think
going to high school, I didn't know what private school was, That's how ignorant we were.
Oh, really?
Yeah. People talk about private school. What's that? No, right? But,
right. Sorry. I still...
No, it's good. I think it's good. Now we're thinking about putting my thighs into private school and stuff like that. So I think,
it's just different.
Yeah.
We were raised differently. And then yours is like, you bring up high school on your competitive nature. I think sports were not a thing. People talk about, I do not do sports. Yeah. I'm actually very unathletic.
Now you're pretty good at golf.
I do play golf, but I'm not a natural athlete. I pretend to work out, which I work out because I love it, but it has nothing to do with anything of me trying to be good at something, because I'm not. But I think that my biggest thing was...
It's funny, we'll be hanging out on a Sunday with our, late, having a lot of wine, and I don't know how you wake up that early to go OT.
Every day,
every Monday. That's pretty motivating, because you post every Monday, like, don't forget Monday or whatever you post on.
Because you know why? I'm that type of person. If I say it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So I always felt like that's my push. And if it hits somebody home some way and gives them a little extra motivation, that gives me the sense of I did something right.
Yep.
But going back to us as kids, I think the only person not the only person, there was tons of people. You had your coaches. I think Aaron, my son, was probably it for me. Like having a kid so young makes you feel like you got to figure it out. Don't be dumb.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't think, I mean, everyone has their own path, but that was me.
My brother and I were trying to get out of, Mesa, Connell.
Yeah, you guys were trying to get out.
Let's go to big city, Tri-Cities, right?
So that was your guys' goal.
Yeah.
Me, I can't. I have a child now. I have to sink or swim, right?
Yeah.
So we had different ways of growing up, but we both came to the same point of, I guess you could say we don't fail. We won't fail in our own way.
Yeah.
It's different, even for you and me. Like, we're not the exact same. You have your way of thinking, I have mine, and at moments we clash, but it works out. I think we figured out, and I appreciate that. So I think the last question that I kind of wanted everyone to understand is balance. How do you define now 10 years, well, it's been a lot longer than that, but 10 years you and I working together and getting to the point where we're at, how do you balance it? What's your secret from your perspective, and then I'll tell you mine.
Well, I think we all balance each other differently, right? For myself, you have to balance yourself first, right? And for me is the people that I surround myself with my family, my people that I work with, my brother. I'm fortunate that I work with my best friend at the office. But just the people that are at the office, they're all a balance to me. Whether, like, obviously starts with my wife, my little guy. But when I go to work, it's like all family there. So for me, is like, that's my balance, right? And we have to help each other out, and me helping the newcomers come up balances me too, because it's a challenge. Mm-hmm. I love a challenge, right? You talked about that, and I challenge myself, like, when I talk to the people at the office and they tell me they can't do this or whatever, or I just need to help them, that's a balance too, right? So it triggers, I don't know if it triggers my brain to feel that way. I feel like I'm just pretty positive, so my family and work is my balance. And then I come home and
then what?
And then, I'm home with my family. So, I feel like I'm balanced on
How long did it take you to figure that out?
Well, obviously, I just grew up my team a little bit bigger, over the last couple of years. But I just over time, right? I mean, you start figuring out, like, hey, I just love what I do, right? So it's like, I think if you love what you do, you will have balance, like, a lot. Having cocktails with my referral partners, having conversations about business or family, and having that chemistry on a daily. I mean, we talk about that on a daily basis, right? With your everybody, right? So right. I feel like that's balance, right? So
that's how you figure it out.
Yeah.
Because you have both worlds in the same all the time.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is different compared to mine. I mean, and I would tell you, because you are way more like in with everybody. Your family is at work along with your family at home.
Yeah.
My family is not at work with me, right? So my balance is different because it just is. I mean, I have 3 individual kids that are totally in different worlds. I have a husband who just started his own business.
Max Electric, by the way.
Yes. And then I have my own business and my own challenges that I have to push through. So working out, I will tell you, number 1 is huge. I mean, that's just me. I don't know how much more I have to say, but if I don't work out, Dago knows this. My husband knows this so strongly.
I'll talk to her. Dude,
it's a true
And I'll
statement.
be like, come on, you work out every day. Like, take a day off.
It doesn't matter. It's all mental. So that is how my balance starts.
Yeah.
And then I have to mentally get ready for my day. I'm looking at emails, looking at everything, and still have a little one who's now just turned 6, and I have a little girl who we haven't gotten into details about, but Madison's got, disabilities.
Yeah.
And then I've got a 19-year-old just in and out in my life that, is doing his own world. And then I have a husband who's just telling me his whole rundown of his schedule. And I'm so thankful because he's also helping making sure Christian's where he needs to be at that time. And Madison's just becoming more independent. So the balance has gotten better. Yeah. I also have tons of help. You have help, They're not family, but I have help that have been with me for so many years. And that's probably how I find my balance. It's not easy though.
No, it's not. And that, I think you and I always figure it out, right? So
We do. And I'm grateful.
Yeah.
So I think at the very end of this conversation, I think the one thing I'm going to say out loud, there's a couple things that you touched base at the very beginning. Dago, 6 years ago, which is exactly Christian's birthday, Michael and I had a little baby that I'm so proud about, because we'll get into details about that next month, because we're going to bring our spouses in.
We can be talking now.
Yeah. But I will say that when we had that little baby, Michael and I decided that we needed to decide who's going to be, just in case our lives change in life, and who's going to be that person. And Dago, I will tell you, you and your wife, Kristen, are probably as close to family to me that I can ever imagine.
I did tell you no twice.
He did deny me openly.
Twice.
I did know. We had to go to Napa.
Until Napa, I go downstairs, and then you guys give me a bottle of wine, and I'm like, oh man, please don't.
It's so true.
They cornered me.
But I'm
no,
great.
but he's a great kid. Smart. Yeah, he's gonna be smart.
He is. He's a smart little kid. Yes, but
don't have to be a loan officer or a realtor.
Not to be, or to be.
Not to be.
No, I want him to be. Well, he needs to be what he wants to be.
I know.
Remember, we have to tell ourselves this. But Christian, really, for Dago and I, defined us as our relationship grew even stronger, and I'm thankful for that. So, although we started in a business level, we've become as close as family as we can. People compare us to brother and sister.
They do.
And
all the time.
All the time.
I mean, we just did those appraisals the other day at my rentals, and they're like, "Are you guys brother and sister?" Yeah,
We just go with it. And it just
yeah.
makes sense, because I feel like you've got my back,
yeah.
and I've got yours, right? So you're already dry, and I haven't even had a major so you better add some more so we can cheers.
All right, cheers.
I know, it's like you didn't even let me drink something. So to everyone to understand how it is, this is Dago and I, my best friend, and I'm grateful for that, along with the best business partner that I could imagine, and all of our clients. I hope one day, if they have not met both of us as a team, I think we do pretty well.
I think so, but stay humble.
Stay humble. Cheers.
Cheers.